Hi, and welcome back to the Rubber Room for another edition of Watch It Wednesday. My name's Chris Colley, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I'm going to share with you how to make this card using an Emboss Resist Technique. This is a card that we'll be making tonight at my stamp club, and we've used the Summer Splash stamp set to make this card, which is available in the current Stampin' Up! Summer Mini Catalog. To start off with, we are going to stamp and emboss our image, and what I did was I used a piece of white cardstock. I stamped my image in white craft ink, and then I sprinkled some white embossing powder over top of it and heated it with my heat gun. This technique does work best with a bold image stamp set. So what I have here is my piece of Whisper White cardstock, and you can see with a little glare on it where my image has been embossed onto it. And I'm going to start off by coloring in some of the spaces on my image. I'm going to use Marina Mist, So Saffron, Crumb Cake to color in my images. And I'm just going to quickly color them in. And don't worry if you go out of the lines, because you are going to take a Kleenex to wipe the ink off where the image is, where you've colored onto the image. And it will come off your embossed area. That's why we call it Emboss Resist. So I'm just going to quickly use my Stampin' Right marker to color in these spaces. I like this technique because when I am done coloring in these spaces, I can go back, and when I'm using my sponges to color the background of it, it will give me a little bit of a different color to it. It will actually blend it in and make these areas look a little bit more green. I'm going to color in my flowers here. And this is just kind of a quick technique that you can use to add some color to your bold stamps without actually having to marker the entire stamp. If you didn't want to do that, excuse me, color in my leaves a little bit there. And I love these markers because you can color with the tip, the pointy tip to it, or with the other end you can use a nice brush stroke with it. And now that I'm done coloring it all in, I am going to take just a regular Kleenex and wipe off where I have colored onto my embossed areas. And then what I'm going to do is simply take my ink and a sponge, and I'm going to be using regular ink on it, and I'm going to start with the Marina Mist, and I am going to stamp off with my sponge a little bit so that I don't get it too dark on my image, and then I'm just going to sponge all over the top part of my images, and I'm going to just sponge. I want to get it fairly dark so that it'll give it kind of a sky look to it. And again, don't be too worried if you get it on where you have embossed your image. That's perfectly okay. And then I'm going to take my Crumb Cake Classic ink pad, and I'm going to do the same thing with it. And I'm just going to sponge that down on the bottom half of the Whisper White cardstock where I have stamped my image and embossed it. And I'm doing that so that it gives it kind of a sandy look to the bottom of it, so that it'll look like my surfboards are sitting right in the sand there. And then I'm going to take just a regular Kleenex and rub off that extra ink that I've gotten on there. And then it is simply just a matter of, I'm going to take some of my snail adhesive and adhere these layers of cardstock one on top of the other. I'm going to put this on a piece of Marina Mist cardstock. Make sure I get it right in the center there. And I have taken a piece of, this is not quite navy cardstock. I did take my piece of Marina Mist cardstock and I put it through my Big Shot using my square lattice embossing folder. I'm going to mount this not quite navy right onto a piece of craft there. And once I have used my embossing folder to give my piece of cardstock this texture, I then like to put my snail all the way around it so that it will adhere it to my card base. Normally I would just put my snail in the corners, but because it's been embossed, I want to be sure I get my snail in all those little crevices. And then I'm just going to mount that onto my piece of not quite navy cardstock, and then mount my image right on top of there. And it's as quick and easy as that to create this great card. This is a good card for anybody that you know, that, of course, that likes surfboarding, but it can be used for a male or a female. And sometimes I have a little trouble with masculine cards, so this is a great card for a man also. And there you have it, the Emboss Resist Technique. I hope you enjoyed your visit to the Rubber Room today, and you'll be back again soon. Thanks, and have a great week.